All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy Champions Day, also known as the Great Steamboat Race Day, which everyone always usually uh, factored in the Wednesday of Derby week with, right? I hope you guys are doing well. Wave meteorologist Brian Good. We got 47 minutes after the hour. Toby, I just saw your comments. Yes, we will get to the outlook for certainly Oaks and Derby. We've got a few things to cover before we get to that. And then I'll talk a little bit about the longer term as well here in just a few more minutes. Hello, Brad. Hope all is well. Hello, Ashley. You're welcome, Ashley. We're very patient with a lot of people. Trust me. If we can handle Kevin Harnett every day, we can handle you. I promise. Andre, hope all is well. Andre, I haven't heard from you in a while. Special track on May 12th. Okay, May 12th. I mean, it's pretty far out there, but if there's any signal that I've seen so far on that period of May, it's been a cooler signal instead of a warmer one. That's about all I can tell you this early in the game. It's too early to talk about rain, but I can at least tell you that it does look cooler than what we are facing now. All right, so here we go. Let's dive into it. Got a lot to cover, and I have a short amount of time for today. As always, I like to always take a look there at the Twin Spires, right? It is Champions Day. Here's a live look there at Churchill, where it'll be packed again today. It was packed. I think it was a record crowd, right? Record crowd at Churchill yesterday for 5 Tuesday. Champions Day is going to be busy. Waterfront Park will be busy with, of course, the Great Steamboat Race all the way up to about the Captain's Quarters area, Cox's Park. So always a lot of fun doing that. For several years, Kevin and I used to compete between the Belle of Louisville and Belle of Cincinnati. I was always on the Belle of Cincinnati, and we would trash talk back and forth. And that was always a lot of fun. Such great, fun crews and people that are on those boats. So I kind of missed that. So I think Natalia and I want to say Sean, I think are the ones battling out today on the boat. So we'll have coverage of that later on. All right. Now, we've been tracking not only the mild weather as of late, but we've been talking about the outflow boundaries that have been trying to slide into the area silently and to see whether or not they can wake up to give us a shower or a thunderstorm chance. Well, as we take a look right into the satellite, we did have the outflow arrive. It's hard to even see it on this image, but it's roughly right in through here, a bit of an arc sitting quietly across northern Kentucky and southern areas of Indiana. Still a very low wind risk, but it's not zero for a quick shower or a thunderstorm to pop anywhere along that boundary. And then later on tonight, as we get a stronger southwest flow, there could also be an overnight downpour that may try to form, especially for Indiana. As that boundary pushes north and east, it'll take until probably mid-afternoon Thursday to get it to Cincinnati, and then we're out of the woods, completely out of that particular round. These are very low end rain chances that I'm talking about, 10, maybe 20% here. So very, very minor. I just want you guys to be aware that if you're out this afternoon at any of the events, but certainly if you can just kind of take care of the yard work, get some grass mowing done, and you were to get a notification for lightning on your Wave weather app or for heavy rain near your area, and you're like, what is going on? It's sunny and warm out. I don't understand. That would be likely the reason why, and you need to take it seriously. So if it's alerting you of that, there likely is lightning in somewhere, a pocket of moderate heavy rain very close to your vicinity based on your GPS location on the settings on the app there. So not everyone gets those notifications, just you in your particular area. All right, so we'll watch that boundary today. I don't think it's going to be a huge concern. The wind fields are weak. There's not a lot of instability here, even though it is going to be a very warm day. It's also getting warm above our head, so that also tends to calm the atmosphere down. So it's a low wind risk. Meanwhile, to the north and west of us, still active weather continues. You guys saw, I'm sure, several of the tornadoes, including the one that was in Oklahoma. That's got the attention of a lot of storm chasers because it developed what looked to be like an eye on the radar. It was massive, one of the stronger signatures that we've had, even including this past weekend. So what a wild week it has been for Oklahoma into Kansas and Iowa and Nebraska. And yes, they're going to be under the gun again today for more showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be severe all the way down into the front range there. This is more of a dry line impact of the Red River Valley all the way, I would say, near San Angelo, Texas. Tomorrow, a weaker version of that because everything is basically stalled. And then we kind of take a break here. We just take a break on the severe risk, and we deal with just mainly rain that we're talking about, and that would include our slug of rain that is still scheduled to arrive for Oaks Day. Now, I'm going to explain how we're going to get to that. I'm going to take everything I just said. That was a general overview. I'm going to break it down one by one. I know you guys have got some questions that you're going to have about timing and impacts and so forth. I'll try to give the entire dissertation of where everything looks today, and then just let me know if I'm not making any sense, which I know is almost every day, but I'll try today, I promise. This afternoon, this is one of the high-res models. It doesn't even pop that boundary that's asleep right now. It doesn't even pop anything along it. Not every model does that. Some are a little more active than others on developing thunderstorms. Some of that what we call CAMS models, which are higher res models. And we developed several different cells along I-64 around 5, 6 o'clock this afternoon. So it really just depends on the different ingredients that the atmosphere's got today versus different modeling. I think right now, I don't see any alarming signal that there's going to be a lot of them that will pop. But we'll be monitoring that. Those will also fade out with that little boundary moving across Indiana, the warm front, if you will, could provide for a shower or thunderstorm for tomorrow. Now, this looks like it's going to be a very overcast looking day tomorrow. Here's the thing. This is the HRRR model. One of the problems of the HRRR model is it reads even high thin cirrus clouds as overcast. So it's going to be a mostly sunny day, and it is going to be hot. Probably noticed this morning, we've moved the temperature up to 90. One of the earlier 90s of the year on record that we've had, the first being April 10th of 2011. This is number 5, I believe, in the ranking of the earliest if we were to hit it. And again, it will be tomorrow. The heat index will be felt, but it won't be overly high. We're not quite to that point in the season yet. That's usually later in the summer when you get the heat index. It's going to be 95 to 100, 102, that kind of stuff. The atmosphere is not ready for that, thank goodness, but it will be noticeable. I mean, it's hot as hot. And in this case, it could be a bit worse because it is a little more of the Las Vegas effect of heat as far as like a dry heat type of feeling. The sun's going to be very, very strong, beating down on you. You'll feel it. If you're not protecting yourself with sunscreen, you'll feel it burning versus in the summertime on a hazy day, you don't notice it as fast. But on this kind of a setup, you are going to notice it. So make sure you get the sunscreen on today and tomorrow, as it will certainly be a hot setup. Testing our bodies a little bit here, kind of a trial run to get us ready for what's coming in the days and weeks ahead. But looking good, again, for today and as well as for Thursday. All right, so that's good news. Now we need to tackle what's going to happen as we head into Oaks Day. Well, we still got this big blob that's coming our way. Very ragged, I will say that. It's not an overly organized way. It's a mix really of an open wave and a closed low, depending on different layers of the atmosphere. But in general, it's just a ball of rain. It will have more of what I think it will look on the radar of a backwards C look on the radar. So I think as it moves in to the area for Friday, and has sped up a bit. I did move the chance up, as you'll see in a second, for the front end of Oaks Day versus the latter end of Oaks Day. But it moves in. There will be the heaviest of rain on the front edge of this. There could be some lightning and thunder. That is our biggest hazard we're going to have because Churchill does have rules on that, on lightning near the tracks. So that could cause some disruptions at times. It just depends on if the strikes are right there off of Taylor Boulevard, which, again, you don't know that much of a detail of a lightning bolt where it's going to hit. But if we can nail that down, we'd be we wouldn't be doing the job. So that's going to be a challenge, but that's something we'll be watching. Again, severe risk, not worried about that, but some gusty winds, maybe some lightning and thunder. Those are the challenges we've got. And again, timing is earlier in the day, so that cuts down a bit more on the lightning potential. That's good because it is going to be overcast much of the day. It moves on by. Here it is, 12 noon. We're at 64 degrees with a band of rain likely pouring down at that point. And then we get into the afternoon, and this is where we could get that little saving grace here because there's the first little wave is going to start to disintegrate, and then we get into an area where maybe, just maybe, we can get some dry time, and that would allow for the thermometer then to get into the 70s right at the point of the run for the lilies. But I still think there will be rain falling at some point during the day, and it could be moderate rainfall. So the thinking on what you need to do to prepare yourself hasn't changed, all right? Have fun, be creative with your outfits. Can't bring umbrellas, bring the ponchos, be creative with the ponchos. Just have all that ready to go. And if we were to get more gaps than expected, I will still get someone that's going to be mad about that. I don't know why they would be, but someone will be. But just consider yourself lucky. But if you don't get the gaps and you end up with a pouring downpour, you don't want to be that person and stand there completely drenched, and the person next to you is going to poncho on that was ready to go. So It's small. It doesn't weigh a whole lot and barely cost you much. So just grab it and throw it in your pocket. No reason to get too worked up on it, right? So that passes on by as we head into Oaks early evening. And then we get into Derby. And the Derby trends, as long as this holds for this being a bit of a faster time, and I do think we'll end up with just mainly a cloudy sky for a good chunk of Derby Day. And we may end up with a few light showers in the afternoon, but I really am not seeing a strong rain signal here for Derby Day. That's good. It's possible that there could be a light drizzle that is in that area for Derby Day, and the models just can't see that yet. That's common. Even this close in time, it likely would not see that. But given the environment that we're looking at, I also can't rule that out. I've seen that many times happen where you get a very light drizzle type scenario. So even for Derby Day, make sure you keep the ponchos handy just in case. But the coverage of rain, the intensity of rain, and there will be no lightning worry on Saturday. That's a nice little bonus there to try to relax, hopefully a little bit, right? We get into Derby night. We don't have a lot on time to relax because our next wave that'll come in basically like an arc or a front. That should be here. It should be after the Run for the Roses. I'm thinking it's going to be mid to late evening Saturday night into parts of Sunday. These systems are all bunched up together. It's a traffic jam. It's like being at the Waterson Expressway heading westbound, trying to exit for the Nashville exit, but everyone's backed up at the Newburgh exit all the way to Bardstown Road, and everyone's not far right lane. All right. That's the best way I could explain how this is looking for the weekend. It's all stacked up, but there is hope that by the time you get to the ramp there to the Nashville exit, that you see a little opening and you slide in there and you get on the ramp, you get home earlier than you expected. Maybe that was a really bad analogy. Maybe I had a rough shower this morning. But I'm trying to explain how this will feel emotionally. A bit of frustration and then maybe a moment of glimmer of hope. That's what I'm trying to portray here. Part of the Derby season. All right, so here are the chances as we stack it out. Again, you got spotty rain chance for this afternoon into the overnight hours. Parts of Thursday afternoon, possibly. I could see that too. Mainly for Indiana, one or two little pop-ups. Nothing major, though. These are very, very low-end chances. We get into, there it is, Oaks Day. Again, we've raised the rain chance up as far as it being a much more rapid climb. I mean, you're going to go from basically dry to raining fairly quick. It's not like a little spotty light shower and then gradually increase in rain. This is not that way. This is one moment where you see a wall of moderate rain approaching on the radar, and you're going from dry to a downpour quickly. So that's why you got to be ready to have your gear to put on quickly, your ponchos. So that's why the rain chance has moved up to account for that. But there is a bit more of a steeper decline on the end portion of that. And then I think we'll end up with a lull for a while before we deal with any rain chance. There'll be a low end for Derby Day. But there's for about, 2 days now, this has been fairly locked in on Oaks Day, featuring a good chance of rain at some point in the day, but not all day. Okay, so what happens after that? Well, we have another wave, the one that sneaks in late Derby night. That'll be here Sunday with a round of showers and thunderstorms. So if you're looking for an excuse to, after partying and enjoying our lovely city and all the events going on, and you just need time to sleep and rest on Sunday, Sunday is probably going to be a good day for that because it does look like there will be some rain around. So you have a chance to relax and just kind of rest up a bit. We get into next week, and this is where the severe weather talk continues to exist. It is a low pressure that gets roughly into South Dakota and just doesn't really want to move anywhere. So the front basically becomes occluded, and you end up with a very angled warm sector into the Ohio Valley, very sharp. Yes, this does feature severe risk, but it also at that angle, the worry that I'm starting to see with this is you're going to end up with repeated rounds of heavy rainfall. This is a training effect because, again, the low is stuck. So you're going to let me get rid of my little wand. You'll end up with a line of storms that will form at some point. It looks like Tuesday right now, Tuesday to Wednesday. They form, move on through, but then you have another spoke that forms not even 12 hours later. Another one forms nearly the same spot and does the same exact thing. Another line forms and moves right over the same spot. So you can get multiple rounds of not only severe weather, but you'll get multiple rounds of heavy rainfall. And that, I think, is probably one of the bigger issues we'll have if we see that repeat indeed right over us. We're talking about a few inches of rain, and that's going to be a problem. But the Euro and a few other global models do try to then bring in the actual cold core of the low into the Ohio Valley. Now, it shut down the severe risk for us, and hopefully it would shut down the rain machine. It does allow for cooler weather. Now, I'm not talking about snow. It's not going to snow. But I do think it will be cooler as far as more of a 60-degree kind of weather than I would say near 90. So a bit of a reset that will take place. I was going to show the new SIPS model and the severe model AI, but I forgot to load it in. Sorry about that. But I will say this is what they had yesterday. It really looks the same. It does. It's Tuesday, Wednesday that are standing out to me. I think I don't see it being every day this week, but Tuesday, Wednesday are the days where we could get the repeated rounds. And then at that point, we should get the low to drop in and shut that down. So I don't see this going into Thursday, which is good. So only a couple of days next week, about a 48-hour window that we may have to be on guard. But that's after Derby, okay? So, but at least wanted to touch base on that idea. Before then, we've got to get through the isolated storm chance today, which is minor. We got to make sure we're ready for the heat tomorrow. One of our earlier 90-degree days on record taking place tomorrow. Hello, happy Derby. We get into Oaks Day. Rain chance skyrockets as we head toward mid-morning, early mid-morning. Some of that could be briefly heavy. Concern with that, not severe weather, but lightning and some gusty winds in the area, but lightning number one. And then there's a growing potential for a break Oaks afternoon. I'm not sure how long we'll have that break, but that break is still showing up. And then Derby Day, there's a low-end shower chance, but the dry period is continuing to look a little more lengthy. But later Derby night into Sunday, rain chances go back up. There you go. That's where we stand today on the never-ending saga of Ohio Valley weather. Coming through. Let me show you the 10-day real quick. We'll get that out of the way. And here we go. The numbers today, I think we got mid-80s, which is still a very warm setup. So if you're heading to the track today for Champions Day, prepare for that. Wear light clothing, light colors, kind of reflect some of the sun back to help you out a bit. There's Derby at 90. There we go with the rainy weather at times there for Oaks. And then next week again, stormy, especially Tuesday into Wednesday. And then I think we'll be able to reset things a bit after that. Ashley, severe risk mostly Tuesday into Wednesday. You got it. Mostly Tuesday, Wednesday. And it's not just severe weather. I mean, that part is the way it's looking now, dynamics. But again, I'm seeing a growing signal more of the heavy rainfall repeating over the same spots and leading to some localized flooding issues. That right now is getting my attention, and in addition to severe weather. So we'll need to watch this, especially if you've already planted stuff, just kind of be aware of that. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it at that for now. Real quick, Brandon, I'll get your question real quick. Could we see more of a linear setup? You were talking about the angle of attack there, Brandon. It's unlikely right now. I haven't seen many models show a linear setup. It's a very positive tilt to this, but just because the way the low occludes in the plains, we're not dealing with a mature cyclone that's in the Midwest that's pulling in a warm sector kind of ordeal. Everything's squashed, if you will, into the eastern United States. So that tends to lead to more, you can get severe weather, don't get me wrong, straight line winds especially, but you do end up with more of a flooding concern in that kind of a pattern. All right, I'm going to stop rambling today, and I will get you guys back on track so you can enjoy the rest of the day today. If you got some mowing to do, take your allergy meds. Pollen counts are still running high. I'll have those numbers come in for you on midday. Take care.